Oh no, I can't stand stripograms.
Awful
I
business.
just, oh no.
Not interested in willies.
No, not at all. I don't want to see them.
God, no.
Tommy Boyds on BBC Southern Counties Radio.
Beautiful. Very good evening to you and welcome to the Late Night Saturday phone-in show with myself, Tommy Boyd, and herself, Allison Ferns. How are you, mate?
Very well, how are you?
Yeah, I've never been better. Somebody writing in one of today's papers made me stop and think something that I had noticed, but not consciously, which is that, actually, Mark Darcy, I'm afraid, wouldn't have fallen for Renée Zellweger like that.
Why?
Because Mark Darcy is extremely good-looking, very fit, extremely intelligent, very caring, nice, well-off, and she's a mess.
But she isn't a drip, she's
The
just
point of-
quite ordinary.
the point-
I thought men went for the girl next door type.
No, we don't.
No?
Any neighbour we'd have ever gone for is Kylie. Speaking of which, Jamie's emailed to say, Tommy, it's funny you should be mentioning Darcy. I've got hold of the latest Southern Counties magazine, and you look like Darcy Tyler from Neighbours, sporting that new...
You do a bit.
Who's Darcy Tyler?
With the goatee, it's the goatee that does it.
Who is Darcy Tyler?
Darcy Tyler
Shame on you for knowing.
was, I think he has actually just come back into it recently.
Yeah.
He's in a coma at the moment.
Oh, great.
Perhaps that's where the similarity starts. I don't know. He was a ladies' man.
Right.
Was 2-timing, 3-timing, 4-timing, you name it.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I never do that, of course, but...
No.
Well, in my mind I can. Talked about it last week, didn't we?
Yes.
The liberty of your own mind, it's brilliant. If anybody listening now at 10:10, hello, wherever you are, possibly driving along, more likely in the kitchen, maybe in the bedroom, or certainly on the internet. Got a lot of people now who choose to listen on the internet, even in the Southern Counties region.
Yes.
I know this because a website that's linked to the Southern Counties website has got a very sophisticated piece of software which tracks everybody who hits on it. That's not to say we know where you live.
We've got your number.
'Cause I
we come
think
around later.
A lot of people who use the internet don't want to be identified, and that's absolutely right, you know. But it does give these people a good bead on listening habits via the internet to the show. And a lot of people listen for reasons I can't fully get. I think possibly because they want to email the show.
Yeah.
So there they sit with their PC, the radio coming out of their PC speakers, ready to email at any moment. I think it's a great way to consume radio.
Yeah,
It's
good
very,
idea.
very interactive. You've got the webcam, of course, so you can see... Is the webcam on us?
I think it is. It should be.
There's nothing to see.
Well, speak for yourself.
Well, we've got the back of your head, mate.
Well, I think people should go onto the webcam just to see whether they too see the likeness between you and Darcy Tyler from Neighbours.
It's very frustrating for the, I gather, tens of thousands of people who aren't listening on the internet, but a lot of people are listening on the internet. What was I going to say? Yes, if you're tuned in now, you may not have been tuned in at towards the end of the programme last Saturday when we found ourselves at loggerheads over Nursery Rhymes. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to finish that one, did we? And quite a few people were ringing through wanting to talk about it. And I don't mind revisiting topics because sometimes it takes you a while to work out what you think about something.
Very true.
You know, phoning doesn't necessarily, you can't necessarily have an instant opinion. You need to sort of chew it over. And my own view is that Nursery Rhymes, you know, just let them go. Let them go. They were never any good for us as children. They didn't work. They didn't give us anything. There was no warmth to them. They were often quite austere. And because they were mysterious and they had no overlap with reality, I think they left a lot of children, myself for certain, just a little bit confused about what the significance of them was.
Yeah, but they made you think.
Yes, they did, but okay, that's a reasonable argument. But in the case of art, and my definition of art is simply something which makes you think, the thinking that it provokes is that which is controlled by the artist.
Very funny. Yes, we had a lady from Eastbourne who wouldn't give her name.
Okay.
Who was complaining that
Yeah.
all I do is giggle, apparently.
Oh, for God's sake, what is the matter with people? I
Giggling
go
isn't
mad.
allowed. Giggling isn't allowed.
Oh,
on Saturday night.
are you telling me that somebody rang up to say that?
Yes.
I get so angry. So angry. Everywhere where you go, where you do access radio, which is just the most brilliant form of broadcasting. It just is. And the more accessible you make it, you know, the better it has to be. How could it not be? People died for the right that we are giving listeners and callers. Now, free speech,
Yeah, to have
which
their
is
say.
everything. Yeah, God.
Yeah, and I'll tell you about my letter I got this week.
Go on.
From Donald.
Go on.
Telling me not to be brought down to your level.
Me?
You. I assume he was talking about you. He didn't actually name you.
Couldn't name
He
me.
referred to you as that man.
Hello, Donald.
And he said that I was even showing signs of liking you, and that was bad.
I see that we've got Kirsten on line one for a
She's
quick
got a
chat.
poem.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Dear Mr. Boyd and Miss Fern, Arnold has emailed with a complaint. I have never felt the need to email, but I must protest at the content of your show. All I've heard from 10 p.m. is the size of your penis, dead foxes, and talk about nappies. Did I fight in the 1939-1945 war so you could tell me about the size of your weapon? I think not, sir. Is this what I pay my licence fee for? Rest assured I shall be complaining to the Director General of the BBC about both you and your secretary, Miss Ferns.
I'm a secretary now, sorry.
I wonder, could you let me know who that is now Mr. Dyke has left? With any luck, we can have Mr. Staunton on for longer. I do not wish to spend my Saturday evenings thinking about another man's wedding tackle. That's fair enough. And Mary has said, what fags would Jesus have smoked? I do not believe there ever was a Jesus. Why does Tommy Boyd presume he ever existed? Oh, well, he existed all right, didn't he?
I think there's quite a bit of evidence.
But he didn't smoke,
to support that.
obviously.
No smoking.
Okay. And just bringing the emails thing up to date, had a couple on the subject of my personal details. And Tim the man has said, funny you should mention nothing of consequence to see on the webcam after your confession of the size of your willy last week. And finally, for the moment, Jacqueline Hedger say, people who have listened longer compared to the newbies that come with the Tom Boyd following have more of a right to complain. Loyalty is 10 times more measurable than you think. Jackie. Does that make sense to you? I think I know what she's trying to say, but
Yes.
again, like people who do complain about me, she can't really quite get her handle on expressing what she wants to say. Loyalty is 10 times more measurable than you think. It's not. It's exactly as measurable as I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think she's trying to say that they have more rights.
She is. What she's trying to say is what we know is fundamentally wrong, which is that people who've listened to a radio station for longer than people who haven't have got more rights.
Yes.
They haven't.
No.
How could they have? It's ludicrous. It's hilarious. The whole notion is frightening, frankly, and it's it's why we went to war in 1939. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit there.
Little bit.
I was going to say, you look a bit like Leslie Ann Down. Has anybody ever told you that?
No.
No. Do you know who she is?
No.
Oh, that's all right then. Hey, Bob. For an old codger, you're playing some great songs from Jenna. Isn't that nice? Somebody else has emailed Bob, text message Bob anonymously, get off, you fool.
Oh, dear.
I hope it's a Bob tonight. I thought he was quite good fun
I
myself.
thought he was. Yeah?
A few cock-ups, but he was... Hello, Bob. Tony in London. All children should be neither seen nor heard. In fact, I think most should be sold off to foreign places at birth. You won't read this on air, but nevertheless, please can we have an end to the Bob Staunton show? It's a total waste of airtime. Poor lad. Because the switchboard's gone a bit bananas, which is great. With people who've got lots of passion and want to sound off. Chrissy has said that she did as I suggested and look on the webcam. That's a remark about my private parts, which I won't read.
This will make you laugh as well. Somebody phoned up to say that they're reporting you to Tony Blair.
To Tony Blair?
Yes, they're going straight to the top. Yes. They're just drafting the letter as we speak. So expect a phone call from number 10 in the next week, won't you?
Have you ever stripped?
No.
No. How many people have seen you naked then as an adult? Since we got onto the conversation.
Hello, where's this going? What?
Well, I wasn't leaving it. It just occurred to me. That's how conversation works. It's like a game of dominoes, and there we were.
Well, how many people have seen you naked?
I'm trying to think. Not many, actually, because I don't like to walk... I don't mind walking around naked if it's appropriate.
Yeah.
If I'm going from the bedroom to the bathroom and the bathroom to the bedroom for whatever reason, or getting out of a shower and pottering around, drying off properly, for example, So not many, to tell you the truth. Vern Davidson says, greetings from the gay community. Darcy Taylor is hubba hubba man. Watch yourself in the singles bars from the blokes, matey. I like gay bars.
I do.
I don't get looked at by women much anymore, but I still get looked at by gay men.
Well, that must make you feel better.
Oh, God, it does. It makes up for it.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit. It's not quite the same, but at least somebody's devouring you sexually in their mind. And
Yeah,
that always
better than no one.
No, that always puts a spring in your step and tightens the buttocks, you know.
Yes.
As you mince off to the cigarette machine. Just take a moment. Anyway, Mike says, what is all this nonsense I've been listening to? Allison is but. Who is the annoying male assistant who keeps buting in? I don't care.
Allison is but.
It says, who is this nonsense what is this nonsense I have been listening to? Allison is but.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful. Hello, Margaret.
Hi, Tommy.
Margaret.
Yep.
Yep.
Just enjoying your show, as usual. Very interesting. One or two idiots coming on. I expect I'm one of them, but...
No, you're not an idiot, but you'll do.
Now, what I was going to say was, I'm a regular contributor to the Southern Counties magazine and the Radio Solent magazine.
Right.
And the picture of you on that front cover.
Yeah, devastating, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
I know. I was surprised myself, actually.
Oh,
Now,
were you?
I've got one other picture of me that's quite flattering, but
Yeah.
the one on the picture of this magazine, I must admit, I hardly recognise myself. Interesting stuff with Fred this evening. This is from Gary, Tom and Ali. Can we expect a Bob and Fred show from next Saturday? I'll write to Tony Blair on Monday and pass on the idea. We're off the air now. Only we're not. So Alison's going to go and press the right buttons. Well, 5 to 11 is if you've got a train to catch. And we've got, is it Fred?
Yes.
Alison? There you are, on line 1. Good evening, Fred.
Good evening, Tommy. I've listened to your show. It's jolly good, you know, old chap. And you said that you don't need the money for doing the show. So I thought, what you could do, seeing as you care about the people in Sudan so much, is send all the money that you earn from doing the show to the people in Sudan.
Well, I support several charities, as you would expect. But I'm not going to talk about it because... Why don't you just say what's on your mind instead of hiding behind a remark that you've had too long to think about?
No, I think it's actually a very...
go on, say what's on your mind. Go on, make a conversation out of it.
Well, it's a valid point. You
haven't made a point yet.
I have. I've made a very good and intense point.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't, because you don't understand yourself.
Yes, I do.
You see, you're jealous.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
No, you are. Everyone knows that. Everyone the first word that came into everybody's mind when they heard you was that you're jealous. You wish you were me. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to be you.
I wouldn't want to be you either.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Of course you do. You want to swap. You want to trade. You want to have my life. You want to be me.
No,
you want to see the things I think.
No.
You want to smell the things I smell. You want to taste the things I taste. You want to be me. I don't blame you. Lots of people do. Mostly men.
No, you're too small, Tommy. I wouldn't want to be you. You're only about 5'4".
Well, I'll tell you what.
I mean, for a big man with a big mouth, you're a midget.
Well, that's just a poor insult. I can't be bothered.
No, it's not. You're a midget. You're not very big.
Poor insult. Can't you do any better than that?
I think that's very good.
Say you, for example. You're a non-entity. See, that's the reaction you get when you insult somebody well.
No, you're a midget. It's not your fault.
You laugh. You laughed out loud. Go on, I'll tell you what, mate. You make me laugh. Go on. I'll give you £1,000 if you can make me laugh like I just made you laugh.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed you making me laugh.
That's the challenge.
No, I find...
Because you can't do it. So, not only am I everything better than you, but I'm funnier than you. Mind you, we always knew that I would be funnier than you, because when did you last make somebody laugh?
When did you last send your money up to the Sudan instead of blabbing your mouth off about how much you care about the people in Sudan?
You asked the question,
blabbing your mouth off every weekend about how much you don't need the money because you're so rich. When
I am very rich.
There's people who probably tune into your show who are actually on the breadline. So
and they enjoy.
So perhaps they think you're a bit of a big mouth.
No, they enjoy my success.
Well, so why do you care about the people in Sudan? What do you do for them then? What do you do for the people in the Sudan? Your comment to the woman earlier who phoned up, the very nice sweet woman. No, what do you do for people in Sudan? You have your mouth off. You make all the comments across the air. So justify, substantiate your claims, Tommy. You're very good at asking other people questions. You tell me what you do for the people in Sudan.
No, you shut your cake hole.
No, you shut your cake hole.
When am I supposed to answer your question? When am I supposed to answer your question?
People in Sudan, everyone, but he has loads of money and he doesn't need people.
I'm going for a slash. When you're ready for me to answer your question proper,
because he goes on the radio and he says he cares about the people in Sudan. No, but you care about the people in Sudan. So what are you going to do for them? What are you going to do for them then, Tommy? Well, come on, you justify yourself. Mr. 5'3.5", Tommy Boyd, or whatever you are, 5'6" or 6 3/4. What are you doing for people in Sudan? You can't justify it, you see? You've gone quiet. Or you've cut me off.
What I said was, I'd answer your question as soon as you said now. All you got to do is say now, and I'll answer your question.
Millions are starving in Africa. What are you doing for them, Tommy? You said you care for the people in Sudan.
I said I'd answer your question as soon as you said now.
You haven't answered my question.
You're not paying attention.
Well, let's make this a subject for next hour. Tommy Boyd says he cares for the people in Sudan, and he earns so much money that he doesn't need to do Southern Counties radio on Saturday night. So I'm putting a question to all the audience: what's Tommy Boyd doing for the people in Sudan?
You don't suppose anybody listens to you, do you?
Well, I do. I think loads of people are really enjoying this. I think this is great entertainment. In fact, to be honest with you, I could probably do the show better than you.
All right, off you go then.
Well, okay.
Off you go then. You take a call. You get some calls. Off
okay,
you go.
Go on. Okay.
You get some calls. Nobody's rang to call to talk to you yet.
Sorry?
Nobody's emailed you, and nobody's texted you, so what are you going to do? I'll leave it to you. You're on. What's your name?
You know my name. You just introduced me.
Yeah, but your full name, you idiot.
Sorry?
Your full name.
Pardon?
People don't go on the radio as Ken or Arthur. They go on the radio as Bob Staunton. So what's your full name?
Can you explain to me technically then how you're going to transmit the call straight to my address?
No, what happens is, when you get a call, I will put the call through to you and you can take it. If you get a call.
Well, I wasn't ever going to get this money of yours to the Sudan from the Saturday night show.
No, you said that you could present the show better than me.
No.
If you do that, listen to me, if you do that, right, if you can do it for an hour, alright, I'll pay you my money.
I don't want it.
You can do what you like with it.
No, send it to the Sudan. Don't give it to me. I've got loads of money.
I will send you the money and you can do what you like with it.
No, I don't need the money.
Are you chickening out?
No, we'll send it to the Sudan.
Are you chickening out?
No, send it to Oxfam.
You're on the air. I am going to go and have a fag. And if you get a call, we'll put it through to you. Alright?
I don't mind talking to people on the air. I'm quite happy to talk to people on the air.
Yeah, but nobody's called you.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it, Tommy? Well, perhaps they're too busy sending money to the Sudan like you are supposed to.
And nobody's texted you.
Well, I'm really worried about that.
And nobody's emailed you. So
that really bothers me. I'm really upset about that, Tommy.
Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let you carry on with your show.
No, you've diverted the subject away from your weak point, which is you made the statement that you care about people in the Sudan. And I just suggested that, seeing as you don't need the money from your show, that you send it to the people in Sudan.
It's your show, pal.
It's not your show. You're just lucky to have me on it.
You're the guy who said you could do it better than me.
You're the guy who said he cares about the Sudan.
Away you go.
You're the guy who said he cares about the Sudan. This is the crux of the matter. That Tommy Boyd said he cares about the people in Sudan, and I listened to the show the other week, and he said that, he doesn't need the money. So I just thought it might be a good idea, if the money he earns from the show, he sends to the people in the Sudan. So I'd like to open it up to all the audience, all the loads of people who are listening in South East England about what Tommy Boyd can do with all this money he doesn't need, and he cares about people in the Sudan. So I open that up. That's my question to the floor, to everyone who's listening. I've got to go because I'm just so not as good as Tommy Boyd.
No calls.
Oh, it's such a shame, isn't it? I'm really upset.
No emails.
Can I ask you a question?
You're crap.
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 Well, that's because you're losing. You're insulting me.
But you said you were better than me.
When somebody starts insulting somebody, Tommy, it
You've
proves...
been on the air for 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
Well, you're losing this argument hands
You
down.
said you were better than me and you could do the show.
Well, I could do the show better than you.
Well, you're not doing it better
You
than
don't
me.
even understand the technology you're dealing with.
You can't handle it and they can't help
you don't
you
even
out.
understand the technology you're dealing with.
Gary wants to talk to you.
Okay, put him through.
Gary from Leeds.
Hello, Gary.
Hang on a second. Hold on a second. You've got to wait. You don't say, hello, Gary. You say, Gary from Leeds is online, whatever.
No, I don't really want to.
Well, that's how you do phoning, mate.
Okay, thanks for the lesson, Tommy.
Right, so you're Fred. Now you introduce Gary from Leeds. He wants to talk to you.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
Fred.
Or Ken.
Yeah. How are you, Gary? All right?
I'm fine.
How's Leeds?
It's great.
Yeah. You a Leeds supporter?
Not really.
Who'd you support?
I'm an armchair fan.
Who'd you support?
Well, I don't really support anything. I just love football.
Do you?
But if I don't go to a match, then I don't really support a team, I don't think.
Right.
What do you think?
He's better than you, Fred.
No, I didn't say that, Fred. He's trying to turn us against each other, so if you want to sort of succumb to that, that's up to you. But I've got absolutely nothing against you. I work in Leeds sometimes, actually. It's quite a nice place. I like the Dales, and I find it very friendly up there, but Tommy, he wants to turn us on each other, so if you want to be sort of manipulated into doing that, then that's up to you. But
Well, the Dales aren't in Leeds. Well, I rang because I thought that you sounded like a fool. I mean, you asked Tommy a question. He was going to answer it. All you had to do was say no. So why didn't you want him to say no?
Sorry?
Why didn't you want Tommy... why didn't you want to say no so that Tommy could answer the question that you have been going on about for about 5 minutes?
Why do you think I didn't want to say now?
I don't know. I'm not a mind reader.
Well, why do you ask why then?
Because I'm not a mind reader.
Well, then why ask then if you're not a mind reader?
Well, how am I going to find out why you didn't want Tommy to answer your question?
I don't know. You tell me. You made the statement.
How can I tell you if I can't read your mind? I've just told you I can't read your mind.
Good.
What do you mean, good?
What I say? Good.
Pardon?
Sorry?
What do you mean, good?
Well, good, fine. You know.
Good, fine, what?
Good, fine, whatever.
Whatever?
Yeah.
Right.
That was interesting, wasn't it? That was really exciting, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, well, it shows really that you can't answer any questions. You can't ask a question properly.
Are those thoughts subjective?
What do you mean?
Well, you obviously don't know what subjective means, so it's pointless talking to you.
Why is that obvious?
Well,
why is that obvious?
Well, because you can't answer the question. Are those thoughts subjective?
What is you asked
you
me
don't know what subjective means. Ask Tommy. He'll tell you.
Excuse me.
No, I've just asked you the question. Are those thoughts subjective?
Yeah, and I'm going to answer your question.
Right, go on.
Do you want me to answer the question?
Well, are those thoughts subjective?
No, you asked the question first. You asked the question before you asked me what subjective means, didn't you?
Well, I'm asking you if they're subjective, your thoughts.
Pardon?
Are your thoughts subjective?
My thoughts about what?
About the statements you're making.
What statements? I've made many statements.
Well, you haven't answered my question if they're subjective thoughts about your statement, so if you can't even answer the question if they're subjective, why the hell are you asking me the question in the first place? Well, answer me, go on. You come out with a statement, so back it up, substantiate your
I don't understand what you want me to back up.
You're asking me questions, and I'm asking you if your questions are, subjective questions, and you can't back them up.
How can it be a subjective question? I asked you.
I've asked you, are your questions subjective, and you don't know what subjective means, so it's pointless pursuing the conversation if you don't know what I'm saying, is it? So you might as well go back to,
Do you know how stupid you sound?
You still haven't answered my question, have you?
But you've asked me two questions.
Answered my question about subjectiveness.
You've asked me two questions.
You've asked me a question. I don't even know why they're putting this on the air. It's just not even worth listening to. I mean,
because I asked you.
I asked you if your question's subjective, and you don't know what subjective means. So go and get a dictionary and look it up. And when you understand what subjective means, come back and ask me, and I'll be only too happy to continue the conversation. But you don't know what subjective means, so we're wasting our time pursuing the conversation.
Okay, so if I tell you what subjective means,
bye. I'm going. I'm not discussing.
I see. You have to go. See, when you go, you've lost.
No, because you've
lost.
You don't know. No, you don't know what subjective
means. When you go, you've lost.
Right. Okay, so let's try some more things then. Tell me about the history of Yorkshire, where you come from. Tell me what happened in...
Who said I come from Yorkshire?
Well, your accent tells me that.
But What's that got to do with anything?
Well, tell me about Yorkshire. Tell me about the history.
Why do I need to know the history of Yorkshire?
Well, you don't seem to know a lot, really, do you? You seem to come on the phone and challenge people, but you don't really seem to know a lot about much, do you? I mean, you know, you're not coming out with anything intelligent, are you? I mean, you're just coming out with, you know, one-word questions and nothing to back them up. I can't be bothered to talk to you. I really.
Do you want to know the history of Yorkshire?
Yeah,
Do you want to know the history of Yorkshire?
Yeah, tell me what happened in 1066 in Yorkshire. In September 1066 at Stamford Bridge. I mean,
Stamford Bridge?
Yeah.
What, you want to tell me about the Battle of Hastings?
No, that wasn't at Stamford Bridge, that was at Battle. See, that's what I'm saying. You come on the phone. It's like Tommy goes on the phone and he talks about the starving people in Sudan, and then the week before he's saying he's earning loads of money and he doesn't need it. So my point was, then why doesn't he send his money that he's earning from the show on Saturday night to the people in Sudan? I think that's quite a good point. You know, I'm sorry. I mean, do you care about the people in Sudan?
But
hang on a minute. Let's get to the point. You're not substantiating your point, my old son.
What point?
You're just stuck in the question now. You're not substantiating your points. All you do is come on here and make a load.
Substantiating what point? I haven't made a point.
Do you think your comments are trite?
The only point I've made
do you think your comments are trite?
The only point that I have made.
I don't think this is on the air, and I hope it's not, because I
think it is. The only point that I've made is about you. Is that how foolish you sound?
Well, not how foolish you
asked me a question. You were going to answer it.
You sound, old son, because you don't even know anything about the history of where you come from. You don't know what's.
I don't know anything about the history of Yorkshire.
Well, you said you're from Leeds. You've got a Yorkshire accent, so it's pretty obvious you're from Yorkshire. I mean, it doesn't take
Did I say I wasn't from Yorkshire?
Well, it's obvious you are, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't take Einstein to work that out, does it?
If I lived in the Sudan, you think I should know about the history of Sudan?
Well, I mean, you're coming on the radio.
Why do you think I need to know the history of...
You're coming on the radio...
Why do you think I need to know the history of Yorkshire?
Well, I'm just saying...
And why do you think if I did know everything about Yorkshire, what would that mean?
It would mean you had a bit of intelligence, wouldn't it? Because you're
Why would it? What's intelligence
You're the one making...
What's intelligence?
Sorry?
What is intelligence?
Well, it's something you certainly haven't got, isn't it? Let's be fair.
I think I sound more intelligent than you.
Oh, do you? Really?
Yes.
How do you justify that, then?
How do I justify that?
Yeah. Tell me.
I'm one of the wisest men on the planet.
Are you?
I'll have you know.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, would you like to tell me some... perhaps I can ask some more questions then if you're so right.
Well, tell you what, Fred, you're doing a really crap job hosting this show, but why don't you link to another caller as well as Gary, because there's plenty of people who would very much appreciate some of your wisdom. For example, Tony from Crawley. Would you like to have Tony and Gary? Let's see whether we can... Tony, so go ahead. No, Gary, you're the Fred, you're the host, so you say... Gary, stay right where you are. Let's bring in Tony from Crawley on this one. Off you go.
No, I can't do that. I'm not capable, sorry.
That's what I'm going to say. Well, say hello.
It's out of my intellectual range. You're just so superior. I'll leave that bit to you.
It's beginning to look that way. Tony, you're through to Fred. What did you want to say to Fred?
Hello, Fred.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Gary, you can hear me okay, can you?
Yeah, sure. How you doing? All right? You having a good night?
This isn't working. I can only hear him via the radio.
You can hear what, sorry?
Tommy? Allison?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can,
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, we were trying something different.
Yes, I know, Alison explained that.
All right, then. Okay, listen, Tony, I'll tell you what. If you put the phone down, Alison will phone you back. And Gary, can I say thank you very much indeed for your call?
Okay.
All right, I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed it as well. It was great fun.
Okay.
Thanks for that. I'll talk to you again sometime.
All right, then, bye.
Fred, you stay right where you are. And do a bit... Are you there, Fred? Yeah, do a bit of padding then, because we've got to get Tony up on a different line for you.
Well, it's not very good, Tommy. I thought you said you could run the show well.
Pad, man, pad.
I thought you said you know.
Remind us of what's going on.
You could run the show. No, I mean I thought you were running it. I mean I'm just a sideshow. I thought you were sort of
Pad, mate. He's not there yet.
You know.
Pad.
That.
Remind people what's going on.
Well, no, I'm just an amateur. You're being paid. I mean, I'm doing this free. I mean, are you going to send me a sort of cut of tonight's money?
That's what I said I'd do if you were any good.
Well, why you keep me on then?
Because you said that you were better than me.
Well, that's not hard, is it?
Well, carry on then.
Well,
Pad, you're all right. We've got Tony on another line now, so you could introduce your next caller, Fred, who's Tony from Crawley.
Hello. No, I'll leave that to Tommy because he's sort of better at me than this, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, Tony, you're through to Fred.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, he can hear you, Tony.
just looking at a film about the starving people in Sudan, and it reminds me of a radio show I sort of listened to, and the commentator said that he cared about people in Sudan, and he said that he didn't need to do the show, he had so much money. Just thinking about who that reminded me of. Can't think.
Are you there, Tony?
Let me think. You're not doing very well, Tommy, are you? I thought you said you could handle the show.
Yeah, you're in charge of the show. I'm just helping you out from time to time with the technicalities. If you were
well,
here...
I mean, but you're not doing very well. You're not getting people through. I mean, do you think you ought to get an engineer in there who knows what he's doing? Because, I mean...
That's what happens in radio. You have to deal with it.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, you're not doing very well, are you?
No, you're not doing very well.
No, I'm doing better than you.
Pad, just tell people what's going on. We'll see whether we can get Tony back from Crawley. But at the moment, you're on your own.
Oh, dear. I'm so upset.
Would you like a sidekick? Would you like Allison in here just to have a chat with her?
She's got a nicer voice than you have. You put Allison in, yeah, by all means, by all means.
Well, hold on, she's just getting Tony out. This is what happens to me, and you've got to fill. So,
I've got to go soon anyway. I can't sit on here and talk to you all night. I've got other
But you said you could do the show till 12.
Well, if you want, I'll stay on. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. I'll sit on here and talk to you all night long, if it makes you happy. But what are we going to do about starving people in Sudan, Tommy, which was your original statement?
What did Gary have to say to you about that?
Oh, lots of intelligent and profound and deep things.
Such as?
I don't know. You tell me. You're listening.
Are you not?
No, but what do you think about the starving people in Sudan? Are you going to send them any of this money you earn?
Are you saying that you weren't listening to Gary?
Tommy, you said you earn loads of money and that you don't need to do the show and you don't need the money and that you worry about the people in Sudan.
I'll send you £1,000. You can do what you like with it if you tell me what Gary had to say to you.
No, you won't send me £1,000 at all.
What did Gary have to say to you?
You won't send me £1,000 at all. I'll tell you what, Tommy, I challenge you on air to send that £1,000 to Oxfam.
What did Gary?
How about that, Tommy? I tend you to send £1,000 of your mingy little money to Oxfam on air.
I will, provided you tell me what Gary had to say to you.
I'm not going to explain to you what Gary said to me.
You can't listen, can you?
What do you mean I can't listen? I'm listening to you.
You don't have any listening skills.
That's not true.
You don't have any listening skills.
That's not true. I'm sorry.
What did Gary say to you?
I don't want to tell you what Gary said to me.
You can't.
I want to know why you. I want to know why you won't send £1,000 to Oxfam.
You didn't pick up a word he said, did you?
Why won't you send £1,000 to Oxfam, Tommy?
Talk to him for
Why won't you send £1,000 to Oxfam, Tommy? Tommy, why with all your money that you boast about with your great big mega mouth about how much money you've got, don't you send some money to the Sudan because you said you care about it?
We've got another caller. It's Paul from Eastbourne. Do you want to introduce him or shall I?
No, you do it.
Paul from Eastbourne would like to speak to Fred. Go ahead, Paul.
Hello, Fred.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah. Do you remember what Gary said?
Sorry?
Do you remember what Gary said?
Do you remember what he said?
Yeah, I did. Repeat after me. He said, now.
Sorry?
He said, now. Repeat after me. He said, now.
Nah, sorry. Can't do
Nah. Yeah. You know, what kind of person makes a radio presenter?
You tell me.
I'm asking you the question.
You tell me.
No, I'm asking you the question.
Nah, sorry, mate. Can't tell you.
You can't do it, can you?
Nah, no, I'm not as bright as you, obviously.
No. Well, you know, it's about, you know, personality. It's about charisma.
Is it?
And, mate, yeah, I'll tell you something, Fred. You ain't got it, mate. Yeah.
All right. Well, there we are. Well, look, I obviously haven't got what you've got, and I'm so terribly sorry about that. But are you going to send some money to Oxfam then, mate, instead of spouting your mouth off?
Well, I actually said it's children in need. But,
oh, do you? Right. How much you send to them then?
Eh?
How much you send to them?
Me personally, I've done about £1,000, but my corporation's done about 2.2
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Aren't you good? Well, can we have a round of applause for this chap here because he's such a nice fellow? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Everyone clap hands. Right, ready? There we are. Aren't you a good chap? It's just so wonderful you're so good.
Yeah, Mr. Boyd.
Thank you very much for being such a great guy. You know,
Mr. Boyd,
well done.
to get this loser off the old radio out because he's a complete tosser. So
I know he is, but...
over to you, matey.
I know
Have a good night.
All right, thanks, Paul.
But it's funny that you're letting all certain types of people through who just agree with you, Tommy, isn't it? And all the other people who don't agree with you, how you don't let them through. That's very, very clever, isn't it?
I've got no control over that, Allison.
Oh, no, you haven't. You're too much of a flipping wimp to let anyone through who disagree with you.
You didn't want to say
just about sums you up, Tommy. You're a great presenter. I love your show. You're a lovely guy. I love it, and I'm going to keep listening to it because it's great entertainment. Love you, but I just wish you'd back up if you say you care about people in the Sudan. That was my point. Good evening.
He did 17 minutes, which is not bad. Not bad. Well, it was bad, but I mean, 17 minutes is not bad. He had an interesting conversational tick, which I've come across before. It's unusual. It's reasonably rare, but I have come across it before, which is where you ask a question, and then because you're so worried that you might not be able to deal with the answer, you carry on asking the question. In a variant form, or else exactly as you asked the question before. The implication being that the question isn't being answered. The question can't be answered because there aren't the listening skills there that a person who wants to answer a question can identify with, so that he can actually gauge the way in which he answers the question so that it's suitable to the questioner.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.